to The Real Show, celebratory interviews where we are talking with people who are creating, growing, and accomplishing things. And I'm so excited. I say it every time, but I really am excited to share stories of people doing great and amazing things. And let me tell y'all something, because I just felt emotion welling up about this one over here, especially because I was just reading, came up on my Facebook memories, a note I had written 9 years ago when I was flying to DC to host a concert for this young lady over here, and just reminded me how long we have known each other.
500 years.
Yeah, pretty much. And this young lady is amazing. She is an amazing worship leader, amazing woman of God, just an amazing person. So, for those of you who don't know her, let me introduce you and present to others the amazing, the incomparable Elise Lewis.
Hello, everybody.
I am so excited you're here with me.
I'm so glad to be here.
I was talking about you not too long ago with
Mhm.
a mutual friend of ours.
Mhm.
Um, I wasn't going to mention her name, but I will, Deidre. And
Oh,
she was just talking about how you usher Jesus and his angels into the room, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what she does. Just kind of like it's not even, sometimes you're in places and people are trying to, trying to work up Jesus in a room, and you just like, hey, Jesus, can you come here for a second? Like, you be waving at Jesus, and Jesus like, hey, come on over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's and I'm not even being facetious. I really am not. Like, that's how it feels to the outside world. But anyway, before we get to all of that, because
mhm.
I want to talk about that a little bit later, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Mm. My name is Elise Nicole Lewis. I love my entire name. My mother did a very good job with that.
She
And I will
did.
say it, and I will write it everywhere. Elise Nicole Lewis. I am a DC native. Haven't lived
Woo-hoo.
anywhere else. I mean, I've lived in the DMV, but Washington, D.C., I am not a transient. I was born there, okay? But I've been doing, well, music, ministry music since I was 17. At this point, it's about, if my math is correct, I'm knocking up about 35 years or so, 30 some years. About 32 years at this point, because I'm 45.
Whoa.
So I've been doing it. Yeah, but I've been about 30 years I've been doing it. So my mother is a musician. My sister's a musician. My other sisters were praying for her. My father is a self-proclaimed guitarist, and we've always had music and hymns of the church, and that's all we did growing up. Of course, I didn't know that I could sing until I was about 15 because they kept telling me shut up all the time. And so then when my teacher in school, the Reverend Lois Nicholson, made me sing, and that's when I realized that music was something that was really a part of who I was. And so um, from that, I've grown, been leading worship, singing. I love to do jazz. I love to do different types of music. And from that, God has given me Worship Him for Life. We do worship nights, and from that, we have For Food, For Love, For Life, which I do food blogging and talk about life, but it's also a nonprofit where we'll be giving back and serving the homeless and those who are in need. And so it's been a wild journey, as well as I am an ambassador for the National Eczema Association. Mm, par excellence. No, but I have many hats, but I'm really grateful to be able to be used in those ways. So I'm not married, I'm single.
Listen,
No
put it
kids.
out there. You never know who's gonna be watching this. By the way, I'm single too. Thank you.
No kids.
So with all of the stuff that you're doing, all of the stuff
Mm.
that you've done, what are we celebrating this year? What are we, how are we thriving in 2020?
Um, we're celebrating the fact of, it's actually a couple things.
Okay.
Um, there has been the beginning of this whole pandemic situation. I was not in a good space. I was actually sick, and it was different. And I was here by myself. I had my family to support me, but I really was struggling mentally, honestly, anxiety and everything. And I had community of people that listened to me gripe, but didn't let me lay there and die. They listened to me, have my aches and pains, but it was like this, okay, we're gonna come back to you when you get your mind right. So I got my mind right. And in getting my mind right, I decided to redefine myself, a thing that I've been working on for years. So I've been in deconstruction mode, as well as I have been taking time to understand myself, my likes, my dislikes, who I really authentically, who I am authentically, and just take the brakes off. I've learned to take the brakes off, and so with that, I took a chance and I released a single. People make the world go round. I was scared to do that. I launched worship nights because God told me to get up off the floor. And I was like, get up. He was like, get up off the floor and go live. For what? I don't want to do it. And I've seen great success in that. To God be all the glory. Folks have given testimonies of healing and just that this is what they need. And I've been really just really jumping out of my box. And I've lost 40 pounds through the pandemic, but we're celebrating the fact that, in the words of one of my very good, very, very good, I call her one of my inspirations, Miss T-Mill Curtis, I've learned to get over myself. T-Mill Curtis, not T-Mill, but T-Mill. I've learned to get over myself. And in getting over myself, I realized that I was looking at things through a lens that wasn't even God. I was looking at things through my fear. I was looking at things through my through the perception of myself that I had. I didn't see myself the way that God saw me. And when I began to see myself the way that God saw me, I realized that everything that I needed lied right down in the center of me. And so I just decided to dig in deep and dig in with him and realize all these jewels in here. And I'm so grateful. And because as I'm digging me all over again. So that's what I'm celebrating, digging me all over again. And I had to learn that was not sin. It's not sin. You know,
Right.
it's what is sin is to pour yourself all the way out and there's nothing left for you. What is sin is for you to have $20 in your pocket and you think you have to give 20 to let someone know how much you care. But I'll give you five because I still have to survive. Like I learned how to manage that place where the only person I have something to prove to is not even to God because he knows me, but I got to let myself know that you're okay and I'm okay. Digging me all over again. I'm going to do a t-shirt.
First of all, what you're not gonna do is make me cry
Oh,
on this here whatever
because
we
Lisa, you
doing.
know where I done came from.
I know I do, which is why this is so amazing because my whole contention, especially during this time of quarantine, is that we have had to go back to the basics and the
Yes.
basis in Him. And we
Yes.
had to strip away all of the stuff we had become so busy and
Yep.
clouded with all of the things that we were doing. And so all of that was gone, all of that was taken away. We were sitting with ourselves
Yep.
and figuring out what that really was, like who are we authentically, not who we put in, not who our representative is, but who
Right.
we are and
Right.
who we are in Him, because it is only Him that is getting us through this, with mental health, with physical health, with
Yes.
all of, trying to figure out life and
Yes.
all of its aspects without going crazy.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you sharing that we're celebrating, that we're getting back to you, that you're digging yourself, the authentic you who God created you to be, and because of that all of these other things are flowing out of you. That to me is so glad we're wait, did I hit the wall? I almost hit the wall. Anyway, I'm I'm so glad that we get to celebrate all of these things with you. Now, did you see yourself doing any of these things at the beginning of the year?
No, I always talk myself out of stuff. I was the one that talked myself out of stuff. Even if I was like, ooh, let me go ahead and I would talk myself out of stuff, self sabotage, if you will. And it was these things that I'm doing, I never imagined doing. I never imagined that I'm actually literally writing a book. Never go fix it, huh? I never imagined being an ambassador and speaking on behalf of those who have eczema because I'm a sufferer of that. I never wanted to be an ambassador. I just did it one day when I was sitting there on the floor. I just said, let me go ahead and do it, and I couldn't imagine half the things that I have done, but it's wild because I thought that on the other side of this, um, I didn't know what was going. I didn't know. I just didn't know. I was fearful of what was to come, and what's has come is amazing.
And that is the great thing about, I think, this period of time is
Hmm.
that in our discovery of, of ourselves, because we don't have anything else, all of the other things we put in place are
Yeah.
gone. We're finding out that when we do the things that um that we're called to do, that we didn't even know we were called in that area, like God really does show up and out for us.
I I even got my food handler's license, and I'm COVID certified for food service. Like I would have never did that. You know what I'm saying? You understand? So now people are like hitting me up to make stuff for them. I'm certified and sanitized. You know, you understand what I'm saying? I can do that, but I would have never done it if it weren't for. And I start a new job in 2 weeks.
Okay, we're gonna talk about all this later because now you're about to make
Okay.
me cry. Okay, so through all of these things, all
Mhm.
of the things you've accomplished, what was your greatest hurdle and how did you overcome it?
My greatest hurdle was myself, the enemy within me. I decided one day to not listen to myself. I had to tell myself to shut up. And once I got over listening to myself, I walked into a place of, let me try it. Let me see. Let me figure this out. So, for an example, with the worship nights, I was sitting on the floor, literally on the floor, because I like the floor. And I was in the corner chilling. It was on a Sunday. I was tired from church because we had an outside service that day. I audibly heard God say, "Get up and go live." I don't like to go live. That's not something. That's not something that So I got up. I said, I called my nephew. He was like, "For what?" I said, "Come bring keyboard upstairs. We're gonna just be quiet and we're gonna do it." So did it, and then God said, "Now go live again." I said, "What are you talking about?" Went live again the second time. In an hour, we had over 1,000 views, 40 some odd shares. People were in my inbox for me to do things, different things. And I was sitting there like this. I said, okay, God, we need to have a whole conversation about this because really I'm not clear. And from that, he told me to do second and fourth. And so if I had never done it or got over myself, I wouldn't have thought I was cute enough for the live. I didn't think that my makeup was ready enough for the live. I didn't think that I was ready. I didn't have the music together for the. I didn't. If I would have gone through all of that, then I would have never done it. But
Right.
God saw fit to do it a different way. You know what I'm saying? So
And I think again, like that is just a testament to, you know, having his ear and just and even being in a space to be open to hear him. I think uh
right,
especially now, like I be hearing stuff and I I'm not as close to him as you are, but I be hearing stuff like it's just, I don't do a whole bunch of spooky Jesus, but I'm like, oh, that was you? Okay.
right,
All right. You want me you want me to do this? Like,
right,
Lord, you want me to do these interviews? I did this currently. It is not a money making venture.
right.
I just want to share hope with people in a time when people don't have as much hope,
Yes,
and finding and connecting with people who have hope and can share hope. That is all I want to do. And that is what he's called me to do in this season. See?
yeah,
See? Yes. That is what we need, especially in this day and age when there are just people outside who are not nice.
right. So what? The black cord? Take it out. Sorry, it's my nephew here. My phone's about to die.
It's all right. No problem. So, through all of these things and all that you've accomplished, what have you learned about yourself in this process?
I learned that I'm okay. I learned that I'm enough. Thank you, baby. I learned that it's okay to be Elise. And there is no one absolutely not like me, you know? And my uniqueness and my authenticness and everything that God put inside of me is for a purpose and a reason. And that's not just saying it. You have purpose. You are designed by God. No, it's a real thing that I now know that there are some people that will be reached by Elise. And what that looks like is not even any of my business.
Oh, excuse
What the business, bless you. The business is that I do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it and just be available.
me. Mhm.
And if somebody doesn't like it, that's their business. They'll be okay with that. You all right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
this has been that kind of season to really learn, like you
yeah.
said earlier, learn about who we are for real and
Listen.
that we are enough. I interviewed Tamil a few weeks ago, and
Mm,
he
I
was
saw that.
talking about I'm over me, getting over yourself and getting out of your own way. I'm still working on. I'm a work in progress in that place because I know that it is me, but I also know that there's a greater purpose for my life than just what I've relegated myself to.
What you have relegated yourself to. That's the whole point. That's the point. And that's that what you just said is something that I had to look at myself and see what I have done. I've killed everybody out the equation because they don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
when I put it down to the common denominator, I am the real issue. And so what I dealt with is the issue. Me.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. So, my last question, maybe, is what advice or encouragement would you give someone who is experiencing 2020?
Stop, sit, take a breath. And while you're taking that breath, inhaling and exhaling, realize the fact that you were able to take that breath gives you the opportunity to restart. Okay. Anxiety and everything is around us. The atmosphere is charged with fear, right? But it's up to you whether or not you're going to allow it to rule you or you're going to manage it. Once you learn and pick your choice, I'd say manage it yourself as opposed to letting it manage you. Then begin the process of understanding where you are. Learn your environment. Learn yourself before you jump into anything else in life, even in this moment. Learn yourself. You will see that you are amazing. And when you realize that you're amazing and start digging yourself, like I started digging myself, you realize that nothing, or you don't need the validation of others. You don't need anybody else to tell you how amazing you are. All of that validation comes from God anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then your value will raise just because not anybody else put value on you, but you put value on yourself. And go ahead and be expensive. It's all right because you're worth it.
I like the way you talk. I like
Yeah, I just said, slow down, take a minute, breathe, reevaluate, look at yourself, dig yourself, and then run from there.
That's good stuff. That is good stuff.
Thank
Well, thank you, Elise, for being here, sharing your
you,
story,
Liz. Oh,
allowing us to celebrate with you.
thank
Before we go, though, can you share with the people how we can find you, social media, website?
you.
Uh huh.
You can find me on, I'm gonna start with Instagram because I believe I know that one from. I was supposed to do my homework before I got here. You can find me on Instagram. It is Elise Nicole. I think. Oh, let's see. Elise Nicole 75. I was right.
All right.
You can find me on Facebook at Elise Nicole Lewis. Or you can also find me on Facebook. Actually, me messaging me YouTube because I have a YouTube channel. I'm coming up in the world, Lisa. Come on.
Woo
It is
woo.
actually, it is actually For Life, the number For Life. And if you just type in my name, Elise Nicole For Life, you'll see me there. And on Facebook, I am Elise Nicole and for the number For Life.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that information and finding it so quickly.
Thank you.
And we look forward to following you and seeing these many different ventures that God has given you in this season. The new music, the food handling stuff. Um, do you ship plates? Or just, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. Uh, but thanks again, Elise, for being part of this and sharing your story. And to all of you who are watching, thank you for participating and celebrating with us. Please stay tuned, like, share, subscribe so you can find out more of these stories. And hey, if you want to be part of it, just hit me up and we can interview you as well. And until next time, you guys have an amazing day.
Night night.